Okay, so let's actually try to figure out how to make table views in the iOS. Table views are used almost everywhere in any app that is there. Generally, there will be a table view, and you can see it all over the place. So it is very important to learn actually how to use table views. There are multiple ways of using table views, creating table views and stuff like that. So we'll be learning quite a few methods. One is just the classic method, and the second would be like we'll just drag and drop and do it that way. And then there's a table view controller. We'll actually use that, and then we'll actually have custom table view controller, and then we'll actually have a nib file from which we can actually create a table view controller. And yeah, so we'll learn quite a bit. So let's just start with the first table view controller, which is the classic one. So you should know how these are used, because like if you're seeing some other person's code, you know what is going on. Okay, so let's say let's create a single view app, and we'll click next, and we'll say table view classic, and this is storyboard, and we'll say next. Okay, so we are over here, and we'll just say create. Okay, so this is created. So first thing that we'll do is we'll actually go to the main storyboard, and we'll actually make some size for ourselves, and put this down here somewhere. Okay, so next what we'll do is we'll actually add a table view. So we'll type table over here, and then we have a table view. We'll drag and drop this table view on this cell, on this view. Next thing what we'll do is we will actually set the size, set the constraints for this one. So the constraints for this one, what we'll do is we'll actually stretch it so it goes all the way to 0, 0, 0, 0 for everybody, for all the for the entire screen. So we'll say 0, 0, 0, and 0. So this table view is stretching all across the screen. So now we have a table view which is all across the screen. Okay, next what we want to do is we'll click a plus button, and we will actually type table again, and there's a table view cell. So we'll drag and drop this table view cell somewhere over here, and the identifier, the reuse identifier, we'll actually call some name, and we actually have to remember what that name is. So we'll call this cell for now. Okay, so what is happening till now? So till now what is happening is there's a table view where there are so each table would be there, and there are multiple things, multiple cells which are in there. So this is the cell which is actually going to be in there. So this is the default cell provided by the Apple, and we would need to know what is the identifier for that one. Okay, so that part is done. Next what we want to do is we will actually click on the assistant editor, and we need a control drag and drop, and we need an outlet for the table view. Okay, so we'll create an outlet for the table view, and next what we'll do is we'll click on the view controller. So now the view controller is over here, and now we have the table view over here. I will make some space and probably make this a little smaller. So yeah, okay, so now we have the table view over here. At this point, this view controller is conforming to UI view controller. We actually need two different things. So we'll say UI table view delegate, comma UI table view data source. So what these two things mean, and it'll actually start complaining right now. What these two things mean is when anything happens to this table, we will say that this is the class which will actually handle it. And for handling these class, these are the two different like a delegate and the data source which is out there. So now it is saying that it does not conform to the protocol of the UI table view data source. Do you want to add the stub? So yes, we want to add the stubs. I will actually Control X and put it in the bottom. Okay, and we'll go over what these functions actually mean. Okay, so now we have this table view delegate and table view data source. What we want to do is when this form loads up or when this view loads up, we will say table view dot delegate is equal to self, and table view dot data source is equal to self. So what this means, what does this mean? So this means that whenever anything happens to the table view, any action or something like that, we will be the one who will actually handle this. And if some data changes over there, we'll be handling that. Okay, so let's actually create an array. So let's say I want to add a list of names in there, right? So we'll say let array is equal to, I will create an array of names. So let's say Ashish, comma, I don't know, Tom, comma, Peter, and I don't know, John. So we added 4 or 5 different people. Okay, so what does this function mean? So this function means that it is saying table view number of rows in section. So what it says is that how many rows are there in that table view. So we need to tell the table view that these are the number of rows that are there in the table view, so it can actually draw them out and show it. So we'll say how many rows are there is the number of elements which are in this array, right? So I'll say return arr dot length dot count. Okay, so it is returning the arr dot count. Okay, so that was the number of arrays which are over there, the count of the cells which are over there. Next, what we want to do is this one is actually returning UI table view cell. So what we want to do is we want to actually return the actual cell which will be drawn over there. So what we'll say over here is let cell is equal to table view dot dequeue reusable cell with identifier for the index path. So the identifier is cell which we actually added when we added the prototype cell on the main storyboard, and the index path is index path. Okay, so index path is actually coming from here. So this is the index path, and missing the return pipe. Yeah, we'll actually fix that, and then we'll say we'll actually make more space over here, and we'll say return cell. So yes, so what does this function mean? So this function, what it does is that it is actually going over there and it is dequeuing, so at that particular location. So for every cell, so first thing, it needs to know how many of these cells are there. So that is what we are returning from the first one. The second part is that we need to, for each of these cell, what is the actual value that we want to do. So first thing what we'll do is we'll take the cell out of that location, that is the line number 28 that we are doing over here, and then we'll add some text to it. So we'll say cell dot text label dot text is equal to arr of index path dot row. Okay, so what does this line mean? This line means that the cell that we added, that was the default given by Apple, it actually has a label, and that label is called text label. So we are saying that get that cell out of that location, and for that one, get the text label out of it and set the text is equal to whatever is in this array go to that index path dot row. So index path, like the index we are getting from there, and dot row, because like it has a lot of rows and section, so it is actually figuring out, we want to figure out what is the row. So it is going to over there, and for the 0th one it'll write Ashish, for the second one it'll first one it'll index 1 it'll write Tom, index 2 it'll write Peter, and then John, and then returns the cell. So this should actually, when we run this should actually show all these values in there. So when this starts up, okay, so we saw that Ashish, Tom, Peter, and John. So it is actually putting all those labels inside each of these table view cells, right? And this is a static list at this point. So static list, it does not actually like it would not change anytime that I start. It will just do that. We will actually learn how to actually put dynamically values inside those things. But this is an example for the table view for the classic part. Okay.